In this video, you're going to learn how to answer literary device question. These 4 examples are all literary device questions. The purpose of this video is to teach you to learn to correctly identify the type of literary device or figurative language in narrative reading. How you correctly identify the correct literary device used in the question. It's simple. Just follow 2 steps. Step 1. Make sure you know the correct definition of each of the term. The second step is to use the definition to check against the sentence. Before we dive into the specific examples of how to apply the 2 steps to identify the correct literary device used, make sure you know the difference between literary device and figurative language. Literary device is a writing technique that writers use to express ideas, convey meaning, and highlight important themes in a piece of text. Figurative language is the use of language in a non-literal way to create a comparison or emphasis. Generally speaking, there are more than 100 literary devices, while there are only about 24 figurative language. So all figures of speech are literary devices, but not all literary devices are figures of speech, because there are more literary devices than figures of speech. Now we're going to use 3 specific examples to demonstrate how we use the simple 2 steps to answer literary device question. Example 1. Which excerpt from paragraph 2 contains a metaphor? So this question correctly identifies your job is to find which sentence has metaphor in it. So your first step is to make sure you know the definition of metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that compares 2 unrelated things, typically by stating that one thing is another. So your second step is to use the definition to check against those 4 sentences. The only sentence talks about 2 things is sentence G, the stands, and a sea of parents. So in this case, the stands is a sea of parents. So the 2 unrelated things are the stands, a sea of parents. Let's look at example 2. In paragraph 20, the phrase as bright as the yellow sunshine is an example of which term? So here you have 4 choices. Your first job is to make sure you know the definition of those 4 terms. Second, you use the definition of each of the terms to check against as bright as the yellow sunshine. So here, because a simile uses as or like to do comparison. The example has as in it, because a simile compares 2 things using like or as. And our example, as bright as the yellow sunshine, as is used. So as bright as the yellow sunshine is a simile. Example 3. Which type of figurative language is used in paragraph 19? There are a few sentences in this paragraph, and there are 4 choices. So your first step is to know the definition of those 4 terms. Then use the definition of each of those terms to identify the correct sentence. Helpless and lay waiting are human characteristics. So here, human characteristics are given to carrots, which is non-human things. So the choice would be personification. There you have it. To answer literary device questions, you just need to follow two simple steps. First, make sure you know the definition of the terms. Second, use the definition of the terms to identify the correct literary device. It's just that simple. Try use the strategy in this video to do literary device questions. Good luck and let me know how they help you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.